O ihu o waka, aha turuki, turuki, paneke, paneke. Ah, turuki, paneke, paneke. O tene te tonga tapu huru, huru na i tiki mai whakawhiti tērā. Ati e, mauri o... Welcome! And national champion of 1968 senior boys basketball team and national champions of New Zealand.
From the yearbook of 1968, and it says something like this: Boys A indoor basketball team winner of New Zealand Secondary Schools indoor basketball competition, New Zealand Secondary Schools. Individual skills interwoven into their teamwork, great emphasis placed on full court pressure, defence and control of the boards. Jerry, a black eye. Lund fouled off. Morrissey with dazzling footwork. Bones, 4 fouls. The high standard of play achieved by the team was largely due to the skillful coaching of Mr. Peters. Now, when I came to school in 1969, I was only here for 2.5 years, and you close your ears when you say this, only the adults listen. I spent 2.5 years, most of that time, wagging down in the gym. I didn't like going to English, and I was good at maths and science, but I used to wag those classes as well. And but Mr. Peters was the legendary PE teacher, and only the best students went to his class. Now, I was never one of those students. So if you were good at sport, at basketball, gymnastics, you went into Mr. Peters' class. If you were like me, we went out on the field and we played rugby. And it was quite cool because we played rugby all the time, and a teacher would come up if you were down on the fields and you weren't playing rugby. You'd get the cane, you know, that bamboo, and they'd whack you on the backside. So we'd have nearly 100 boys out there playing. But this is a special date, the 28th of September 1968, boys indoor basketball team became national champions at Palmerston North. And I think it's a really special acknowledgement. I want to go through each of them individually. I'm going to look at this photo and and we're just going to get each of them to stand up so we can acknowledge them. So the coach, Graham Peters. Kevin Storer. Sid Crowley. Now I'm going to tell a story. So I'm going to tell a story before I get into it. Last night we were at report evenings, and my staff are really, really intelligent. They are really, really intelligent. So we're looking at this photo, and then one of my teachers says, "Hey, that guy there, Morrissey, is he a brother to the owners of Morrissey?" So Brian Morrissey, the owner of Morrissey, the one who established Morrissey's. And then we've got Paul Storer. Warren Osborne. Gordon Povey. I should know that one because I went to school with one of his sisters. I think it was my time at school. I went down to the gym to play sport, not to play girls. And we have the last one over there, Brian Lund. The other two people up on the stage, and there's sadly there's one that was missing. Oh, they actually Chris Kahui who's missing, but also special mention to a good friend of my family, Jerry Cowley, and represented today by his wife Robin and his daughter Sarah. Thank you everybody for being here, and thank you for our legends, and it really is quite special, and it got quite emotional for me seeing you all here today, so we've got a good day ahead, so kia ora to all of you and your family, and God bless.
Please put your hands together for Coach PHOD, Mr. Graham Peters.
Like most of you people here, you're good at sport. I have to say that when I was a pupil in Christchurch, I was good at sport too. So my destination was to be a phys ed teacher. So I went down to Otago University and qualified as a phys ed teacher. I don't know what you call them now, sport teacher, whatever. Anyway, in my group of 20 girls and 4 boys, we all qualified at the same time. The girls were able to go straight to schools to teach, but boys had to go to a special year at training college. And then we had to apply for a job in New Zealand somewhere. And strange enough, the whole 4 of us all applied for Tokoroa. It was in the advertisement that said, close to Taupo, close to the snow, close to Rotorua, and it had a basketball court, which is just about unheard of in those days. So we all applied for it, and as I was the basketball person of the 4, I got a job here. I never looked back. I moved into this. Should I continue? I wasn't going to give a speech. I moved into the teachers' hostel, which was way down in Beard Road. Around the corner, on Papanui Street, lived the Cowleys. And the ones that I associated with were Daniel, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, 3 fantastic Samoans. I had others in the family, but these are the ones I associated with in sport. Just a little story, and I won't bore you any longer. Jeremiah was good at the high jump and the same, and I was still competing in the high jump as well. And I managed to jump 1 metre 88. And Jerry has always wanted to get over 6 foot, which was about 184. And he cleared it. So I was always able to say, I'm better than you, Jerry, at that, but everything else he was better than me. And along came Sarah, and she jumps higher than all of us. So there's a bit of a link between the Cowleys and myself with regards to high jumping. You've got a new gymnasium I hear. I'll be pleased to see that. When I came here, we just had a swimming pool and someone filled it in. So no swimmers here, unfortunately. I think we'll stop with that because I could go on all day. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Mr. Peters.
I remember sitting exactly where you guys are, but normally at the back there somewhere. So something special for me is this town. Born here in 1953. One of the first people to be born in Tukuroa, because they never had a hospital here. Everybody used to go to Patata with their babies over there. So corner Lanark Street, somebody's house now, I think. Went to Taugaroa East. Yeah. Went to Taugaroa Intermediate. And then finished up Taugaroa High. It's a place where legends are made right here. I think basketball for all of us, particularly, what we achieved, taught us to set goals, right? And I think we took that into our family lives, and we took that to our work, and we probably still do it now, right? And we're always staying focused on where we want to go and where we want to be. And that really came from some really pretty hard coaching. We started ball here and took her all down at the old YMCA, which is no longer there, got burnt down a few years after we all left school here, and it wasn't us. Just get that straight now. We used to do, I remember breaking into Bill Wales' house to get the keys to get into the gym. We used to shoot across the grounds over here and go through Turia's place and grab a couple of donuts all the way through, and then we'd spend hours down there. And then we got our gym here and qualified, started getting serious that year. We qualified for the Nationals, and we were fortunate enough to have Graham as our coach. So we just went from strength to strength. I just want to emphasise that we were all totally focused on the one goal. And our challenge to you guys today is we're going to put our team photo up here in the new gym. And we don't want to be the last one that's a national champ. Alright? We're going to give you 5 years to do it. And you can do it. I've seen some of your teams playing in the Ames games, and you're coming through the rep stuff now, and you've got a team going in this year. You can do it. So I'll leave you with that.
There's the challenge, 5 years to all, 5 years to get another national championship up there.
Yeah, not really want to speak very much, but the formula was pretty easy for us winning that inaugural championship. It was just plain hard work and practice. We used to practice before school in the mornings, freezing cold. It was colder than it is now. But we practiced at the YMCA before school. When we came to school, we practiced down the gym whenever we could. Personally, I used to go to the YMCA, and I used to get a key from the director, and he used to let me go in and practice. But he got a bit sick of me doing it all the time, so he ended up giving me a key. And I had the YMCA to myself for a year before we went down there and did our business. So I just say to you, whatever you do in life, it's a lot of hard work. And if you're a sportsman, just practice. You know? That's how you're going to do it. Hard work. Cheers.
Thank you. Sue Kelly.
Well, I'm a man, a few words too. But, I think Kevin just covered everything from my early days here in Tuggerah, which born in Patara and lived in Babberton Street and had a basketball hoop up against the shed, and we had a floor like that, and all my mates used to come there and practice, you know. I mean, we just loved it. And so that just backs up what Zeke said. I'd just like to say thanks to everyone in the gym. It just made me feel like a schoolboy here, and I love it. I feel like one of you guys. And so thanks.
Robert, I'll have another legend. I'm the first twins born in Tuggerah, 1952. Brother Kevin just said we spent all our school time here in Tuggerah school, so it was a real, it was a blessing being brought up in Tuggerah. We intermingled with all the different cultures. As Kevin married Zeke's sister, I married Cook Island girl. Twin brother married a Maori girl, so yeah, that's our family. So basically what I can pass on to you guys, keep your friends close, be good to your families, stay united, it'll take you a long way.
Kia ora tātou. I'm a bit humbled by the situation right now. I want to acknowledge your principal, and also I want to acknowledge the students here today that turned out to honour us. It's a very humbling experience for me. I'd just like to say to your principal, Mr. Ford, I never got my leaving certificate when I left school. You think I can get it now?
Granted.
Basketball's been a big part of my life, and for a long, long time. And I've had the privilege to play with some of the best people that I could have ever have played with, and it started right here for me in Toroa. Winning a national championship was just something that is very personal to me, and I suppose very personal to the people that are sitting up here now. But when I talk about my history of secondary school basketball, they ask me, "Oh, where did you play basketball?" I would say, "Oh, Tuggerah High School." "Oh, where? Where's that?" "Oh, well, it's in the middle of the South Waikato." "Oh, yeah, how did you get on?" "Oh, well, we won a national championship." "Really? Tuggerah? Never heard of the place." And I think the significance of that is that basketball was probably a second or a third option for sport here. Rugby was obviously very, very important on the sports agenda. Netball for girls. Boxing was always very high on the agenda for sports here. But when it came to basketball, nobody really understood that basketball was very important until this group of people, ordinary people, achieved an extraordinary result. And the result came of our dedication, to each other, B, to our hard work ethic. And so, as a result, this is why I guess we're here today. I've coached basketball for a long time. I won a national championship, NBL Division 2. I've coached NBL Division 1 for 5 years. My wife and I, Ellie, we ran a Division 1 program out of Taranaki. That's still running today. Very proud of that program. And whenever I have been in hard times, and I've made some mistakes in my life, I've been in dark places, I've always been able to relate back to the time that I was here at this school with my comrades here, and it's always helped me out. And so one of the things that I just like to leave with you, young people, is that eventually you're going to go out into the community and you're going to be looking for employment. Be polite, be respectful, and always put your best foot forward. Your best attributes are you. Never forget that. And that's what people want to see. That's what employers want to see when they come to give you a job. I want to wish you all the best in your life and in your future. Kia ora tātou. Thank you.
For me, I'm one of 6 babies that came to the school. This is, my mother had 6 babies in the school at the same time. This is an extremely emotional time for me, and nothing compares. I'd like to say one thing to young people: be proud of Tokoroa. Many things come from Tokoroa, many things. And I'll tell you this, listen to me, because you're the youngest you'll ever be right now. So don't waste 1 minute. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Kia ora, I'm Robin Cowley, and the best decision I ever made in my life was to marry the captain of this team, Jerry. I get an opportunity to speak to you again shortly. Kia ora.
Thank you, Robin.
My name is Brian Lund. Obviously, I grew up in Tokoroa. 30 seconds, I'll make it short and sweet. Thank you for a wonderful welcome. It's wonderful to come home. I really do appreciate that. As Gordon said, it's pretty emotional, and yeah, it's good to be back. The only words of advice I can say to you is, it's your life. What do you make of it? Go make a good one, guys.
Thank you very much. Now, we hand over to Sarah Cowley, the daughter of Robin and the captain of the team.
Well, tāna whalawa, it's a real honour to be here today, and firstly I just want to acknowledge Mr Ford for having us in your school, and particularly my Uncle Kevin for arranging us to be here. My dad was really proud of being from Tokoroa, and I'm really proud to be associated with Tokoroa. Three of my uncles still live here, and this is very much like our Tūranga Waiwai. And I feel really humbled to be in the school today representing our family, my mum and my brothers who are unable to make it. I actually grew up in Rotorua, so not far from here. And the other thing that I want to tell you, and I've been quite inspired listening to all this words of wisdom on stage today, but I'm New Zealand Olympian number 1134. I'm telling you that today because there's no reason why there cannot be more Olympians, more basketballers, more All Blacks, more whatever you want to be in this room, sitting here right now, because we're all the same. These guys all sat on this on the same seats that you sat on. Probably not those exact seats; they look quite new. But I sat on similar seats at Rotorua Girls High School, at Rotorua Intermediate, and at Otonga Primary School. So don't be limited in what you can do. The world is your oyster, and it's really up to you about how you write your own story. The other thing I want to say to you is how cool sport is that 50 years later, these guys are such great mates and will be for their whole lives. And the power that sport can do to connect you, to empower you, to inspire you, to have so much more than actually, it's pretty awesome to actually play the sport, but off the court you get some really great life lessons and great friendships along the way. So well done to you guys all for making it here today. I know my dad would have loved to have been here, probably last night and tonight as well. And just enjoy this special time with each other. It's incredible that you're all here. So thank you.
Kia ora, talawhalawa, Mr. Ford and your wonderful staff. It's a very special day to be here. We're thrilled to bits with your new gym, and we look forward to seeing that. And this celebration of these guys returning to Tokoroa High School 50 years later. Jerry Cowley was a very proud graduate of Tokoroa High School. He made lifelong friends here, and he made the most of his school days, both in the classroom and on the sports field. He had arrived in Tokoroa from Samoa as a little 7-year-old boy. He spoke no English, he wore a lava and he had no shoes. Life was all about family, the church, PIC church down the road, and school. And his brother Zeke here will confirm all of those values that were so important to him. There were 10 children altogether in their family, and their father, Oliva, worked for the New Zealand Railways. Oliva and Talea had a lot of love to give, but family income had to take care of a lot of people. And Jerry very quickly realised how much fun it was to play sport. From Roller Mills Rugby, he went on to Waikato Schoolboys, and he toured Australia. Obviously, basketball was right up there too. Now, my story is a little bit different to Bones and Kevin, but it's along the same vein. I'm not sure about his partners in crime at the time, but some of these guys, Jerry would say, used to break into the old Tokoroa YMCA just to play basketball. And eventually, Bill Mayle, the manager, gave them their own key. Tennis, softball, you name it. Jerry Cowley wanted to play it. Of course, this meant that he needed some money to fund all the fun. And so he became a cleaner here at Tokoroa High School. And then he helped on a milk run in the days when milk came in bottles and was delivered to your house. Around this time, there was a basketball guru in Rotorua, Wally Glue. And Wally had noticed Jerry, and he started helping him, mentoring him, and encouraging him in his basketball career. And he often drove him to trials and tournaments around the country. And actually, Wally went on to become New Zealand's first paid employee, New Zealand Basketball Federation. In his last year at school, Jerry decided that actually he couldn't do everything. And so he gave away his rugby to concentrate on his studies. He was so proud of coming first in UE history. Off he went to Auckland University with his great school friends and began a commerce degree. Softball and rugby gave way to basketball, which then took over completely as he strove for national honours. And being selected for New Zealand in 1971-72 was a great source of pride. not just for Jerry, but for his family and his friends and this community, which had supported him so greatly. I've had the photo of this winning team on the desktop of my computer for the last few weeks, taken 50 years ago, and I've just so enjoyed thinking about how much it meant to win that first ever New Zealand Secondary Schools Championship. From this small town to first place on the New Zealand podium. It's a reminder that anything is possible when we put our minds to it. And Jerry would have told you, sport combined with education opens many doors. So it is with great pleasure that I'll hand this over to Sarah now.
Stole my lines. It is with great pleasure that we present to you this cup in honour of my dad, Jerry Cowley, and on behalf of our whole family. We want it to go to the junior girl or boy basketballer who makes the greatest improvement every year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Students, the past students, we now dub you your new nickname. You are now known as and forever as the Immortals. Hold my Thank you so much. Now